Greetings YouTube, Sega Zombie here, and wow, isn't time flying? It's been a month since my last pickups video, and a lot has happened over the last 4 weeks. Loads of retro stuff, loads of news, and I think I'm going to start it all off with meeting Pete Armour. Pete Armour on Onaretrotip. If you haven't seen the video already, I'm going to put a link below. Pete, wow, what a guy. Completely on the same level as me. We got on really well. We had a blast. He come over a couple of Saturdays ago and we filmed in the house. I hope you guys like that. It shows the Sega wall and a bit more depth, and we just chat and waffle loads of retro really. Pete, really great guy. Can't stress enough how much I got on with him. We had a great day. And that leads us into the pickups really, because after filming in the house, we then went to Cambridge to the History of Computers Centre. I think that's the name of it. It's like a museum on an industrial estate that, yeah, just sort of like archives the whole history of computers, right from the early Spectrums all the way through. They've got loads on display, a really great place. And me and Pete went there to go for the chat with John Romero. From id Software, and you know, from the glory days of Doom, and he gave a really great talk. We got to have a brief chat with him afterwards, me and Pete, and we both got items signed, and that's where we're going to begin. My copy of Doom on the Atari Jaguar. John kindly signed that for me, and he also told me some interesting information about Doom on the Jaguar. Doom on the Jaguar was the only console conversion that id Software done. And John actually made this game himself, and it took him 3 weeks. Me and Pete asked him the question, was the Atari Jaguar as notoriously bad to work for as, you know, other developers and people have said in the past? And he said no, he really enjoyed working on the Jaguar system. And like he said, he got this game up and running in 3 weeks. And he's pretty proud of it. So, you know, I'm glad to get that signed and put that in the wall. A really nice piece, and it was a really great day. We had a right laugh, me and Pete. Yeah, really good day. And this is what it's all about. For me, YouTube is a great way to get involved in the community and get to meet other people like-minded. You know, I have lots of friends, but not all of them share the passion. When it comes to retro, you know, I've got a few mates that will have a go on modern gaming, or a few that will delve a little bit retro, but not hardcore, not the uber geek that I am. And it's great to meet other people that are on that level, and I really enjoyed that day. A great day. Hopefully in May, I'm hoping to go to Revival, so I get to meet loads of more YouTubers then, and people that I've met off Facebook, off Galaxy Sega and Retro Round. So I'm really looking forward to that, guys. Revival, I think, is going to be a blast, and it's just, you know, putting the final details to being able to go. So I'm really excited about May. Next up, just going to briefly show it, and that's the Commodore 64, the C64 Mini. Wow, I was really impressed with this little mini console. Really good. I sold my Commodore 64 collection a couple of years ago, just for space really. My Amstrad collection was growing too fast, and there's only so much 8-bit home computer stuff that you can store. And I decided with a heavy heart to move on my Commodore 64, so I'm really glad with the Mini. It's got great potential. There's a few bugs with it at the moment, a few little niggles that I've picked up, like it's not compatible with many other USB controllers. The controller is the letdown on this. I thought it was my dodgy gameplay, but there is, because it's not a micro switched joystick, it's just tough. You're battling against it all the time, which is a bit of a shame. But apart from that, the build quality, the box, the presentation, absolutely spot on. The 64 games, they're not all the best games, but there's thousands of games released on the Commodore 64, and they're never gonna pick 64 games that everyone loves. But there's some classics on there. Great little system, and if you haven't got one, grab one. It's really good. Next up, It's all Sega, guys. My channel's been focusing on some of the other bits and pieces in my collection, but I feel like I'm neglecting Sega a little. So the next few videos are going to be boom, back on the wall, focusing heavy on Sega again. I've got a few ideas to do some comparison videos, you know, picking up a game out of the wall that I remember from back in the day and the nostalgia of it, and then picking another game that didn't have that nostalgia, but is a solid game that I've discovered in the last year or two. So, you know, I'm hoping to put that together and they'll be up soon. Moving on rapidly, where should we start? Let's start with this little bundle here. This arrived Friday. Now, it's just a bundle of shelf fillers mainly. There's an interesting Aladdin, which is like a repro Aladdin. It's like an old school repro though. It does have a manual. So there's that. I'll probably use the case to that. And then we've got Sonic All Complete. PGA Tour Golf 2, which is one I actually need. I'm not really into golf games, so I was glad to get that and put that in the wall. And then we've got Blockout, the Japanese version. Again, a Japanese game. I will always be happy to put those in the wall in lovely condition. That what I paid for this is worth it just for that game alone. And Sonic 2. So not a bad little bundle. I'll probably be flipping most of them, or I might do a couple of competitions on Galaxy Sega, give them away. But the only two out of that I'm going to be keeping is PGA Tour Golf 2 and Blockout. Now these I won in an auction on a Facebook group called GGG. It was a late night auction and no one had really bid on it. I just bid £9 and I won. So I won that for £9. Yeah, so it must have cost the guy £3 or £4 in postage. So that's an absolute great deal on that. And to add a couple of games in the wall, that's brilliant. That's what it's all about. Next up, there's 3 games that I got off One Galaxian, and that's Daniel Clements. He's decided to focus on his Dreamcast, I believe, and his Japanese Saturn. He's shifting a bit like I have been doing. He's shifting his focuses slightly, and he's flipping and like recycling some of his collection to invest in other things. And these next 3 I picked up off him, and that's Ren and Stimpy presents Stimpy's Invention. This is all complete, and Dan sent these all in these little crackly cases, slip covers. See if I can get this out, guys. But yeah, Ren and Stimpy show. It's in pretty good condition. It's not too bad. It's a little rough around the edges. It needs a case swap really. It's got a bit of tape that runs down there. This does happen with them, but the cartridge is in lovely condition. The manual's not bad. Happy with that. It's a blue spine, and that will be going in the wall. I'm really looking forward to giving that a blast. Actually, again, it's a game I've never played. I never played this back in the day. I did quite like the cartoon when it came out, so it'll be interesting to give that a blast. Put that up there. And right, this next game you don't see very often. Rarely see this game. I'm just going to take it out of the crinkly sleeve. Again, another game I've never played. I believe this was based on a cartoon and toys. I can remember my younger brothers being into this, and that is The Incredible Crash Dummies. Now, I do believe this was released on many formats. Look at this, he's even put the silica gel in it. This was released on many formats, I believe. It was quite a popular thing back in the 90s. It's not in bad condition. There's a little bit of cart damage there to the label. I'm not too fussed with that, to be honest. For what I paid for them, he done me a great price on these. And this game does not turn up very often. Very rarely ever see it on the groups. I'm sure if you look, it's on eBay at a stupid buy it now price, but you don't see it very often. So really glad to have that. And again, it's another game I've never played on the Mega Drive. So really looking forward to giving that one a blast. Now next up is a game I've been chasing for a while. I can't believe it come on. It was Galaxy Sega again off Daniel. and he done me an absolutely fantastic price on this game, and that is Splathouse Part 3, the Japanese release. Now if you notice, it's got a slight fade to the spine there, but really not fussed with that. For the price he done this for, this game is hitting over £100 on eBay all the time. It's in glorious condition, guys. The cart, there's no peel to the label, which is often a case with some of these Japanese games. It's got all the little leaflets, the little Namco warranty, and the manual's in absolutely lovely condition. So apart from that little tiny bit of wear or fade to the spine, this is actually in a lot better condition than Daniel said it was in, I believe. He was a bit harsh on when he criticised it, but that is great. Absolutely fantastic game. I've been playing it loads. It really is a great game. I just don't understand why it never made it over here in the UK. It only ever come out in Japan and in North America. It was a popular series in the 90s. I don't understand why it never got a UK release, but there you go. I've got it in the wall. Really chuffed with that one. It's one I'm really happy with. So that's it off Daniel. Brilliant, mate. Really happy with those. Next up, we're going to stick with Mega Drive after I have a sip of me coffee here. Oh, that's better. Right, next up we're going to have a look at some more Mega Drive. And these are a couple I got locally. Someone, like a friend of a friend, had a few bits for sale. And it was mostly modern stuff, but he found a couple of games and I couldn't believe it. The first one is Altered Beast, in great condition, and you're thinking, Sega Zombie hasn't got Altered Beast? I couldn't believe it. I was checking through and I don't actually have Altered Beast. I think it's because I was waiting to get the Mega Drive Altered Beast bundle, to be fair, because that's what I got when I was a kid growing up. And I've been looking out for that for a good price, and I want a really minty one if I can get one. But this was so cheap. You know, I paid a few pounds for this, so really chuffed. That's another one for the wall. And then next up, which is a bit of a bizarre one, and that's Onslaught. Now I do like these ballistic boxes. They're a bit different. This one is in reasonable condition. It's probably one of the worst ones I've got in the collection, to be fair. The cardboard box is all caved in. The manual's not too bad. It's got a bit of wear, a bit of shelf wear, a little bit more scuffed on the back, and there's a sticker on there. But yeah, apart from that, really happy with that. And like I said, I paid a few pounds for these, and I managed to pick up a couple of games for the kids, what they wanted. So yeah, really happy with that. These really didn't cost me anything at all. So again, 2 more games added to the wall. Next up, this was a buy a little while ago actually, and a huge shout out to James Temple. He is a big guy on Galaxy Sega. He gets involved loads on there. Excuse me, he's got a massive passion for retro. I know he's just had his stag do, so happy hangover, mate. But he sold me this, and that's Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Now I did have this a while back, and I can remember I'd done a deal with my Sega brother Ryan Connors, and he needed this, so I traded it with him, thinking it'd be really easy to replace, that it was a shelf filler type game. Turns out this isn't. To get this in complete condition, in lovely condition this is, really chuffed with that, James. Yeah, it's taken me a while. It must have been a good 18 months, 2 years ago I done that deal with Ryan, and it's taken all this time to get it back in the wall. So yeah, really chuffed to add that, and that really is minty. That really is in good condition. So awesome. And then next up we've got a buy that again that I got off one of the bigger groups, GGG, a guy's just selling up his collection, and that is Turrican. Again, another ballistic release in the box. And this is polar opposites to Onslaught, as this is actually, you can tell this is out of a collector's lot. As if we take it out of the case, it's in fantastic condition. Look at that. Again, this is a game I've been chasing a long time, but it's really difficult to get it in really good condition. It's got the advertisement pamphlets there, more warranty cards and the like, and then you've got the manual, which again is in absolutely fantastic condition. And look at that, that box is in absolutely brilliant condition, as well as the cart. So happy with that. Been looking for a while. It floats around 50-60 pounds, so I've kind of held out on it, because it's a game that 18 months, 2 years ago, you'd be paying 20 quid for it, and it's really shot up in value. A lot of these ballistic games have, and yeah, I've just sort of like held out for one for the right price. I've had a couple of opportunities in the past to get it for like 50, 60, but to get it for the price I paid, which was 40 quid all in, absolutely blown away with that. Really, really great price. Thanks again, whoever you are. I can't remember your name, but really happy to have that in the wall. So the Mega Drive is ploughing along, guys. And believe it or not, and this is not intentional, the next game I've got to show is ballistic as well. And that is Star Control. Now this one, condition-wise, is in between Turrican and Onslaught. It's not as bad as Onslaught, but it has got some genuine shelfware to it, mostly all in this top corner here. But if we open this up, again, it's actually in its original bag, which is nice. And you've got all the gubbins in there. There's a nice poster, advertisement, and the manual, which is all in really good condition. And again, the inside of the box is really, really good. So really glad to have that. That's the sort of condition I'm striving for, really. Genuine shelfware, don't mind at all. And that is in great condition. So that's 3 ballistic editions I've managed to add to the Sega wall. There's a few sitting up there, as you can see, guys. So yeah, slowly chipping away at them. We've got one more Mega Drive game to look at. And this is one that caused a bit of a debate on Galaxy Sega, if I'm being honest. And that is FIFA 98 Road to the World Cup. Now you're thinking, what? FIFA, you know, show filler. Now the FIFAs are, I'll agree, and most sports titles. But there's a few now that are starting to creep up in value. And I've noticed that FIFA Road to the World Cup 98 is one of those. It's starting to creep up. And it's not one that you pick up for £2 or £3. It's hitting at least £10 on eBay, if not more than that. I've seen it go all the way up to 20 quid. And even higher. So it's a game that creeps up. I don't know if that's to do with David Beckham, I don't know, and I know obviously because it's 98, that would have been right late on in the Mega Drive's life. So it's probably not as readily available as the other FIFAs. So I grabbed it. Everyone, there was a bit of a debate going on Galaxy Sega, people arguing the toss, oh, why are you asking £8 for a FIFA game? And there was a bit of ribbon on there. And, you know, I just thought, well, for £8 that's a bargain to me, so I snapped it up, and the guy was great. He got it sent out to me really quickly. It's in nice enough condition, and I think FIFA 98, I'd never played it on the Mega Drive. I know that by then my Mega Drive was long gone and I'd moved on to the Saturn, so it'll be interesting to see what that plays like. So I'd imagine it's probably just a reskin of the others, but you know, we'll give it a blast, and I'm glad to put it in the wall. So that's it at the Mega Drive, guys. I hope you're all enjoying this lovely weather. It's about time, isn't it? It's been absolutely miserable, but we've had some glorious sunshine. It's lovely. Next up though, guys, I'm not going to keep waffling on. We have got some Sega Saturn. Now, some of you will be aware of being, if you follow Galaxy Sega and Retro Realm, and follow me on Facebook, I've actually been shuffling around the Sega wall. I've actually sold on some Sega. I've sold my 32X collection because it just didn't get played. It didn't get played at all. I've kept the 32X. If there is ever a time there's a game I want to play, then I'll use the EverDrive through the 32X. But the main games I loved on the 32X was the likes of Space Harrier, Afterburner, Virtual Racing. I am going to miss that. That was great on the 32X. But it didn't just justify me keeping that whole collection. It just sat on the wall, on one of the shelves in the Sega wall. And I'm starting to believe that I should keep what I've got a passion for and what I actually want to play. And I can reinvest the money of the 32X into more games that I want to play. And something I really want to invest in more, which is quite a small collection I've got at the moment, is Japanese Sega Saturn. So with the money I've made on the 32X games, I've been investing into some Saturn stuff to really boost the collection. And I love all the Japanese shooters and 2D games that was released in Japan, but unfortunately they're desirable, and some of the prices, wow, unbelievable, some of the prices. But we'll have a look at some of these that I purchased. Now these were purchased in a couple of lots, all off Pete Coombs. He's done me some great deals. I've got some more Sega Saturn on the way, which I'll save for the next pickups obviously. But first up, we're going to have a look at Gradius, the Deluxe Pack. Now this is a game I'm familiar with on the 8-bit machines from years ago. These are actually in really great condition in your standard jewel cases. So yeah, really looking forward to playing Gradius Deluxe Pack. I'd imagine they're arcade perfect conversions. So a lovely, great classic Konami release. So I'll be giving that a blast. After this video, I've decided to spend all afternoon blasting some of these Jap Saturn games. So that's up first. And then another one off Pete, and that is Dead or Alive. I can remember the controversy this game had back in the day. It's got the spine card, all complete, lovely condition, an inexpensive game, but nevertheless a great one to have in the collection. And it was controversial due to the physics of the bouncing boobies. Yeah, believe it or not. That was all the spark in the magazines I can remember reading at the times, of all the wobbly bits. So yeah, I'm glad to have that in the collection. Next up is a Puyo Puyo game. Little puzzler. Again, Pete pretty much chucked that in the bundle. So yeah, happy to put that in. And then another one is, I love the first one of these, layer section. I've actually got the PAL release of it, which is Galactic Attack. But yeah, this is layer section 2. Not played it before. Really looking forward to giving this a blast. Again, it's in nice condition. Really chuffed. Another shooter to add to the Japanese collection. And then we really have got a tasty one here, and that's Dungeons and Dragons The Collection. Now I've briefly played this in the past. A great side-scrolling beat 'em up. I believe both editions are very similar like that. I'm not sure because I haven't played it yet. Again, I've saved it for this weekend. But wow, Pete done me a fantastic price on this. It's in great condition. I've been sort of holding out for the big box version, but wow, that's going for silly money. You know, it's going for absolutely crazy money. And Pete Coombs, he done me a fantastic price on that. Really chuffed to have it, and can't wait to play that. Really do love my side-scrolling beaters, as you all know. And yeah, be great to get my teeth into this one because it's one that I'm not that familiar with. So really looking forward to that. And then we saved the best till last, guys. Or the most expensive to last. I don't know if it's the best. And that is Elevator Action 2. Action 2 returns. Now, I used to love Elevator Action on the 8-bit machines. I love it on the Amstrad and the Commodore and Spectrum. They were all real solid conversions back in the day. And then this one, re-release or a remake in the arcade by Taito. And a game I've been itching to add to the collection, but again it commands a really high price. But again, Pete looks after me so much on Sega Saturn stuff, it's unbelievable. He done me a really good price on this. It's got the spine card, it's all complete in fantastic condition. I'm so looking forward to giving this a blast. This is a game I'm familiar with on the Saturn. I have got like a ripped version of it that I thought I was never going to afford to be able to get it. And this is what's great about recycling old stuff that you've got and you think, well, I'm not really going to play that. Let's invest it into something I'm going to play. Because like I've mentioned in the past, I'm not just a collector, I'm a gamer as well. And I do love my games. And it's just nice to be able to generate a little bit of dollar to be able to invest into some of these bigger hitting games. And that is going to be sitting pride of place in the Sega wall. I'm starting to rearrange one of my units behind my chair here to compensate for the loss of the 32X and the gain of all this Japanese Saturn. So look out for a future video, guys, on that. Like I said, I'm hoping to go to Revival. I'm going to put links below for Onaretrotip, as I mentioned. Go and check out In The House. That was such a blast that day. And we had a really, really great day. So enjoy that video, guys. Until the next time, I'm Sega Zombie. Goodbye.